Ever wondered how financial crises have shaped our world and economy over the decades? It's a fascinating, albeit often devastating journey that has repeatedly tested the resilience of economies worldwide. Financial crises, by definition, are periods of severe disruption to financial markets and institutions, often triggered by panic or a loss of confidence in the system. From the common man to multinational corporations, no one remains immune to their effects. They can cause job losses, bankrupt businesses, and even topple governments. They're like dominoes falling, one triggering the next, resulting in a ripple effect that can shake the global economy to its core. Each financial crisis brings with it unique challenges and lessons, shaping the way we handle money, how businesses operate, and how governments regulate financial markets. They serve as sobering reminders of the vulnerabilities inherent in our financial systems. So, are you ready? Let's dive into the annals of history and revisit some of the most impactful financial crises since 1900. Our journey begins in the 1930s with one of the most infamous financial crises in history, the Great Depression. This economic downturn was triggered by a stock market crash in 1929. An overheated economy, easy credit, and rampant speculation led to a bubble that burst with catastrophic consequences. The impact was global, with economies worldwide falling into a deep recession. Unemployment soared, banks failed, and people lost their life savings overnight. The world's financial structure was teetering on the brink of collapse. In response, regulators introduced measures such as the Glass-Steagall Act in the United States, which separated commercial and investment banking to prevent risky financial practices. Despite these efforts, recovery was slow and painful. It took the global economy until the end of the Second World War to fully recover. The Great Depression left an indelible mark on the world, but it was only one of the many financial crises that the world would face. Fast forward to the 21st century, the world found itself in the grips of another financial crisis in 2007. The root cause of this crisis was the subprime mortgage bubble in the United States. Simply put, banks were providing loans to people who couldn't afford to repay them. When these subprime borrowers defaulted, it sent shockwaves through the global financial system. This crisis was further exacerbated by financial products known as derivatives, which are essentially bets on the future value of assets. When the housing market collapsed, these derivatives became worthless, causing massive losses for financial institutions around the globe. Regulators responded by bailing out key financial institutions to prevent a complete collapse of the financial system. They also implemented stricter oversight and regulation to prevent a similar event from happening in the future. But the 2007 financial crisis showed us that despite advances in technology and regulation, the world was still vulnerable to financial upheavals. While every financial crisis is unique, there are striking similarities and lessons to be learnt. Both the Great Depression and the 2007 financial crisis were triggered by excessive risk-taking and a lack of effective regulation. In the Roaring '20s, speculation in stocks was rife, and many people borrowed heavily to buy into the boom. Similarly, in the early 2000s, banks and homeowners alike took on too much debt, betting that housing prices would continue to rise. However, there are also stark differences. The Great Depression saw a catastrophic failure of the banking system, with thousands of banks collapsing. In contrast, the 2007 crisis was largely contained within the financial sector, thanks to swift and decisive action by central banks and governments around the world. The lessons from these crises are manifold. They remind us that unchecked speculation and debt can lead to disaster, and that strong, effective regulation is crucial to maintaining stability in our financial systems. They also underscore the importance of swift and decisive action in the face of a crisis, to prevent a bad situation from becoming worse. Moreover, these crises have shaped how financial markets operate today. Banks are now subject to stricter regulations to prevent excessive risk-taking, and there is greater emphasis on transparency and accountability. The lessons from these crises remind us of the importance of vigilance, regulation, and preparedness in the face of potential financial calamities. The world of finance is a fascinating yet volatile landscape. We've navigated through the tumultuous times of the Great Depression and the 2007 financial crisis, highlighting their triggers, similarities, and differences. The most crucial takeaway is understanding these crises, their impacts, and the measures taken to mitigate their effects. This knowledge prepares us to face potential financial storms ahead. Thank you for joining us on this journey through financial history. If you enjoyed the content, do like, share the video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more insightful content.